Welcome to this edition of Project 200. Now the car is finally driving and performing the way I've always wanted it to, but just like any other modified car, a little problem had to arise. And this time it's the same problem that I had earlier in the year, with the head and the head studs starting to warp and move around a little bit under big power levels. This means that the boost pressure was pressurizing the cooling system and the car was starting to lose water. So I dropped the engine off at Croydon Racer Developments to get it sorted out once and for all. And I've just been to America and got back, so let's go in, check out what they did, pick it up and get it back in the car. Now, as you can see, the engine's already back together and ready to go into the car. Now, while I was away, Jim pulled down the entire engine and inspected it. Now, we found out that the bottom end was still in perfect condition, so there was no need to freshen it up at all. Now, we decided to go for a 1/2-inch head stud conversion on the car to get rid of the lifting head problems once and for all. Now, to perform a 1/2-inch head stud conversion, you have to strip down the entire engine, and then you actually drill out the holes in the block and the head larger to fit the larger head studs. Now, we also machined the head and the block to get a perfectly flat finish and put in a new Tomei metal head gasket as well. So it's all back together. Let's get it in the car and get it running and see how it performs. I then brought the car back to Croydon to have the engine primed and give the car a run on the dyno. Now, we didn't change anything, so the tune was still pretty much spot on. With the car being invited to compete in the TV series Blood, Sweat and Gears, Jim tuned the car to cope with a fair bit of punishment and some extreme heat that we knew we would encounter down at Shepparton. With the car running spot on, it was ready for action. My car's a 1998 Nissan 200SX. It's an S14, but it's got an S15 front on it. When I started building it, I kind of didn't really know exactly what I wanted the car to be. I didn't really want to make it good at one specific thing. So as I started doing it, it basically just turned into a really hardcore street car. Just being invited to compete in Blood, Sweat and Gears was an achievement in itself. 7 of Australia's top modified cars from every genre were chosen, of which only 2 were Japanese, so getting the nod was a proud day.
The 200 is purpose-built for the circuit, so it won't be as wild a ride as some of the others. It's pushing out about 400 horses and it's pretty light, so it will be quick, but it will take all of Luffy's skills to hold it together.
Andrew's car was really good. You can see what I mean. He was probably born in a test tube and he understands how it works. But as far as drivability goes, it's got a lot of grip. Very fast car and a big handful. It could really get away from you because, like he said, a lot of power. It'll be interesting to see when he gets behind the wheel because I think he's going to struggle. Oh, that's the fastest by far. That is quick. That has got... Oh, man.
Got a lot of grip, doesn't it?
That has got the grip. That's got the grip.
The show didn't go all to plan though, as I broke both drive shafts on the second day and missed 2 challenges, pretty much putting me out of the competition, but Melbourne-based drifter Luke Fink helped me out by bringing some shafts up from Melbourne so I could continue on. My luck didn't continue, with a crank angle sensor giving up the ghost on the 3rd day, so another last-minute fix was required before making a big comeback in the show. Check out Fox 8 to see how Jet 200 went against 6 more of Australia's top modified cars. It's amazing that with so many modifications done to the car to take care of everything, standard parts broke and let the car down. The drive shaft problem arose again a few weeks later when I took the car to Oran Park for a private test day. I got it fixed in under an hour and was back out on track. I spent the first couple of sessions testing the car out with some circuit racing. Check out what a couple of hard laps is like. Here at Oran Park, you can see just how responsive the car really is, which means mission accomplished with the new engine combo. The car is simply awesome to drive. It's certainly not easy though, with heaps of torque and power on a tight track that could only lead to one thing. The car's not built for drifting and the suspension is set up all wrong, but it didn't stop me from having some fun, although it was a bit of a handful. I put on some smaller rubber to attempt to slow the car down, but it simply didn't work. Some extra lock would have been nice, as the car was constantly hitting against full lock. After a few goes, I was able to link the Oran Park track. Not bad, as it was my first time attempting to drift properly on a track in 2 years. I think it's time for Ignition to build a dedicated drift car.